Hello and welcome to my channel. Right now you're probably thinking, what the hell is this? What are those? What is this? What is that little thing over there? Yeah, welcome to outside. And right now I'm going to try making a new series I just thought of on the fly because I'm pissed off about something. And it's still game related, trust me. It's still game related technically. And it's about Magic the Gathering. Recently, I have been brought back into playing Magic the Gathering from my friend John, which his channel will be on the description. He plays games too. He's my friend. Basically, I went over to his house one time. And he's like, "Hey, do you got Magic cards?" I couldn't remember if you did or not, but it's like I got some new cards or whatever. And he wanted to see it, and yeah, I had some cards or whatever. So I went over, played with him or whatever, and it was really fun. And now I'm getting back into learning stuff, and I'm getting a little bit more serious about it because, heck, Magic's really fun. And one of the problems right now is in like tournaments or whatnot, like certain standards or whatever. Used to, you were not allowed to have two of the same Planeswalkers on the field at a time, as in like some other cards, I believe. But basically, if you had like Jace the blah blah blah, and the little bar in the middle under the picture said Jace, you weren't allowed to have another person on the field. Like, it'll say something different Jace at the top, and in the middle is still Jace. You weren't allowed to have both of them at the field at the same time because they were the same person. And if you think about it logically, you can't have you and yourself like, oh, I am, like, if you think about Rick and Morty or whatever, like, oh, I'm Pockets with brown shoes. But then you have another one of me that's like, hey, I'm Pockets with green shoes. It's like, no, you're still the same person. Even if you change your fashion, you're not allowed to have them. Apparently now you're allowed to, and people are thinking, oh no, that's going to be very overpowered. How am I going to stop that? In addition to that rule, they also added something. It was something to do with like spells that target players. Like, for this certain instance, like, forget about cards that say target player discards this or that. No, let's focus on the ones that do damage, like target player takes 4 damage and whatnot. Those cards that say if it targets the player or what as I'm taking it, those cards say target player, like you can also, like basically, I'm rambling a bunch, sorry about that, but, oh, my chest is hurting a little bit because I've just been talking, and I don't talk a lot, so it's hurting. This is exercise for my voice. Basically, whenever you use that spell, it can now also target a Planeswalker. If I mention this, oh, I hear my little dog coming up. Hey Nugget. But basically, if I told you that information first, you're going to be like, oh no, Planeswalkers are going to die really easily. And then I'd tell you, no, you can have 2 of them of the same name on the field at a time. And you're like, oh, it evens out. And yes, it'll even out. But how they wrote it as the information of the spell cards that being able to target Planeswalkers also is like people are saying like, oh, that only applies to the old cards. If I get this new card afterwards, or if my opponent gets a new card afterwards that does not say target Planeswalker with player, it doesn't work, and we're going to have to yell at like if they try to do it with a new card, that they will have to call over a judge and find out when it's made. I know Desolator Magic talked about this, and I did put a comment under there to kind of help, in my mind, explain what they probably are doing. And this is what I think they're doing. That's not going to be a problem. Like, if they're saying that for all the older cards, or what are old printed cards, are going to say it's going to include, it will include the Planeswalker whenever it says player for like damage or something that makes sense, like damage. I don't like walks, but yeah, target new play. But new cards, obviously, if they're making that rule change, they're going to change the new cards also. So if they don't do this, yeah, be pissed and call a judge every time if you want to waste time. If not, just let it happen. But my thing is, if it is a certain card that does do damage or something that could happen to a Planeswalker, it'll probably say in the card, say, target player or Planeswalker. He'll have to say that if you want this to go right. Oh, I made it all the way into my driveway. 5 minutes, okay. Takes 5 minutes to walk down my driveway. Neat. Okay. I'm back. And back on topic. Basically, that's what I want it to happen, is what I think is going to happen, is that any new card that says does damage to player, also you can target a Planeswalker. Just so people don't have to flip the shit. It's just like when I used one of my old cards, it was I believe it was a Charging Rhino. And I think it might have cost 4 or 3 mana. It was a green, obviously, but you know what Menace is? This card was made before they made the short term for like they use the word menace, which the Menace's description is this creature can only be blocked by 2 or more. Which is like, yeah, that's what it means. The card was made before that, so it doesn't say menace. It just plainly says this creature cannot be blocked by 2 or more things. So Wizards basically, whenever they figured out that they don't want to write that each time, they made it a shortened word for things that have multiple stuff on it. So basically, yeah, it has menace. It doesn't say it has menace, but it says it has menace because that's what the description of menace is. It's like saying, what's a good analogy for this? It's like, basically you're saying this does banana, and then the person says, no, it's not. It's a fruit, and it's yellow, and it can be peeled, and it comes from a palm-like tree or whatever. Basically, the description of a banana. That's what that is. And basically, if they make that to where they wanted to reprint it or whatever, or any new cards don't have that long word on it, they're just going to make all the new cards are just going to say, can target player or Planeswalker. That is my thought about it. People should calm down about it, but if it does end up being that they don't add can target Planeswalker to the spells that make sense for it, like basically only the damage ones that I can think of, yeah, if that happens, sure, go nuts. And go to Desolator and say, you were right, it's going to be hell. Literally, go to Desolator Magic. I've watched his playlist video, basically when I got back into Magic, and I was like, ooh, I can use all this stuff to fuck up my friend. And I'll be like, oh, I have all the knowledge. I know things. Which is great. Knowing things is the best thing ever. I hate walking. There's my dog again. This is my driveway. Good luck finding out where I am. Oh, look, the sun! It's killing me!